sorcerer Zagan lives alone in an abandoned and dilapidated castle. Because of his powerful magic, he is feared by many. Chastel Lilvqvist was about to be killed by a sorcerer whom she is familiar with. Zagan didn't like the commotion in his yard and killed him off. The shock has caused Chastel to faint. Zagan felt bad about this overkill and used his time reversing magic to repair the damage. Noticing the cross she has, he noted she must be from the church, the enemies of sorcerers. As he teleported her away, his friend, Barbados, came to tell him juicy news. Marchosias, who was one of the 13 Archdemons, just died. This means there will be an auction held to sell his legacy. Zagan agreed to go, seeing there might be some magic he is interested in buying. But of course Barbados only told him in hopes he could borrow some money for the auction. The main attraction of the auction was Marchosia's slave, Nefi. The moment Zagan saw her, he instantly fell in love with her. So his bidding started at 1,000, Zagan instantly bid 1,000,000. Bringing her home, he realizes he has no idea how to properly communicate with her, and everything he says terrifies her. He won't kill her and prefers her alive. But she takes it as death is too good for her, and she will be tortured. Zagan tries to sound cool to impress her, but comes off sounding arrogant and bossy. Nefi, on the other hand, misinterprets his good intentions and thinks he wants to torture or experiment on her. Learning she has no family name and a cursed child reminds him of his own tragic past. An orphan who doesn't know his own parents. He had no family name and, as far as he could remember, lived his trash life via stealing. He warns her never to talk about dying and wants her to live for his sake. He shows her the room she will be living in. A torture room, Nefi starts having death thoughts again. After cleaning it up with his explosion, she likes this room with a nice view and would like to stay here. For the longest time, Zagan felt happy since nobody has thanked him like this. The room has no bed, so Nefi sleeps next to him on the throne, and he couldn't sleep a wink. After a very bland breakfast, Zagan realizes he has no idea what normal people eat. Nefi offers to cook, and Zagan is delighted. But with no ingredients, they head out to town to buy some. Zagan realizes that he spent all his money. They skip the carriage ride and take a walk. But soon that carriage is attacked by bandits. Zagan doesn't give a damn, but seeing Nefi frightened, Zagan goes to fight them and even defeats their sorcerer boss. To Zagan's shock, everyone thanks him, and they even pay him as a reward. In town, noticing her clumsy clothes, his first order is to get her a new set. Harpy Manuela has her try a maid outfit. Zagan likes it. Noticing her collar, he seeks a blacksmith's help to get it off. Seeing with that collar, it still indicates she is Marchosia's property. However, the blacksmith's level is not high enough to take it off. And there is a trap too. Taking it off by force means her head goes along with it. Zagan remembers the auction didn't have the key either, so it must mean it is still in Marchosia's place. Since he is not in a hurry to get it off, this can wait next time. Nefi even asks about the possibility that she might run away when it comes undone. Zagan notes it could come to that since she has no reason to be with him. It's only him who is in love with her. Even so, he is willing to take that risk. Then we see the duo feed each other at the diner. So lovely that the other customers are sniggering at this cute moment. Meanwhile, Chastel is depressed. She did her research, and it was Zagan who saved her. Her team of knights was investigating cases of evil sorcerers kidnapping young women. She didn't expect one of her men was part of Face Stealers, the group they have been after. Lord Clavwell then tells her the culprit behind this, Zagan. She is in shock because her findings told her he has no connections behind the kidnappings. Clavwell insists that even so, he is evil and must face judgment. Chastel volunteers to take up this task. Zagan is impressed with Nefi's cleaning and cooking. She forgot to cook for herself, and once more, he sounds forceful as he makes her sit on his lap to share his breakfast. Later, she notices him learning sorcery. He finds it odd that despite having high mana, she claims she cannot use sorcery. As he teaches her the basics and finds her having potential, she asks why he wields such great power. For survival. Narrating his past, where he struggled to live, he was then kidnapped by a sorcerer who wanted to use him as a sacrifice. He killed him and soon learned that in order to survive, he needed to become stronger. Soon, Zagan detects Chastel and her knights are here and goes to greet them. The knights attack, but are easily defeated by Zagan. He won't kill them and needs them to go back and spread what happened so as to instill fear. However, Chastel calls his bluff and attacks him. Her sacred sword does break his magic, but because she is too small and not used to wielding it, she cannot use its full potential. As she cries that sorcerers like him are evil, for they use it to suppress others, he throws back that same question to them. Because what makes the church different? He won't justify himself, but believes sorcery is needed by many to survive. When Chastel corners him, she whispers and hopes he will be pretended to be killed by her. Because if she is defeated, the church will send stronger knights in her stead. She also believes he is good, as he didn't kill any of her men, and most importantly, he saved her the last time. Nephi then runs out to help, but a knight attacks her. Zagan protects her and suffers a small injury. This makes Nephi mad as she suddenly conjures roots to overwhelm the knight. Zagan manages to calm her down, and the knights leave. In the aftermath, Nephi is shocked that Zagan is worried about her well-being rather than being disgusted. That is when she reveals that it wasn't sorcery but mysticism. Mysticism isn't based on some logic system, but tapping into the natural laws. Because of that, she was ostracized by her own people and village. One day, her village was attacked, and they told her to defend it. But she just stood there and got captured while watching her people get slaughtered. It was then she felt happy they deserved what they got. Then she realized what happened and thought what happened to her next as a slave was karma. It was the reason she stopped expressing emotions. Zagan is not disappointed because if it were him, he'd killed everyone. After all, they're dead now. What can you do? Thus, when one has strength, one should live a strong life, or it will be an insult to all those weaklings who died. Hence he poses the question if it is wrong to be strong, and is it evil to be strong? He further reveals that when he was younger, he saved a girl from bandits. He even told her off about being weak, the reason she got preyed on. But she chided him for his strength that made him feel great, like as though weak people had no right to live. This only proved she lived a sheltered life, and that cozy life made her weak. Because he didn't want it happening to him, the reason he lived to become stronger. He assures Nephi he needs her by her side. He lets Nephi cry her heart out in his arms. Nephi can't sleep, so she wants Zagan to sleep with her. He gives excuses. He needs to be on this throne if anything ever happens. She has foreseen this too, and that's why she is offering her lap pillow. He asks if she is interested in sorcery, and since she is, he takes her on as her disciple. Then, noting about his story about the weak, she thinks that although it doesn't sound much to him, she notices that he looked sad about it. She is saying that she will never forget his kindness and hugs him. That should lull him to sleep. The next day, when Barbados visits to tell about his crazy fight with the knights, he is shocked to see Nephi as his assistant, so he didn't sacrifice her yet. Then he talks about Zagan eyeing a seat of the Archdemons. While he only wants the key to free Nephi if he gets the seat, his status means fewer people will go after Nephi. Zagan doesn't think he'll get it since he only studied sorcery for a decade, while those archdemons have been doing it for centuries. Zagan continues to teach Nephi sorcery, and one day he gets an invitation letter. The archdemons would like to see him. So he attends that meeting held at the Marchosia's base and is awed by their powerful mana. They cut to the chase and want him to fill in Marchosia's seat as an archdemon. Although there are much more powerful sorcerers than him, they note none was able to kill him. Noting the first sorcerer he killed, they know of Zagan's true ability to learn sorcery at a single glance. This means he is unstoppable, and all would bow to him should he wish so. In time, he will become the greatest sorcerer in all history. That is why they are offering this seat despite his fledgling status. Zagan gets cheeky as he poses the question. He could take it from them too. But they show why they are powerful and threaten to take everything related from him. And his very existence will be nothing more than pitch-black darkness. Images of Nephi flash through his mind, so he wonders if he should drag Nephi into that darkness. Zagan agrees to take the seat on one condition. He returns home as an archdemon, and now he has Marchosia's key to free Nephi. Then he shockingly tells her to get out because he no longer needs her. We see a shocked Nephi bumming around in town. She can't find herself to cry, although she is confused after all that Zagan had said to her. Chastel sees Nephi and goes to ask why. But Nephi gets the wrong idea she is here to kill her and allows it. Manuela gets the wrong idea and jumps in to protect her. Even the townspeople get the wrong idea and tell the knight to scram. After Neffy clears the air that she did nothing, but now Chastel is reduced to tears. Manuela treats them to dinner, and the food reminds her of Zagan. They learn Zagan kicked her out, as Chastel notes that ever since Marchosius died, there's been a string of shady business. With the church trying to muster their strength and rid of the archdemons, Neffy ponders if there will be a fight, and that's why Zagan sent her away. Chastel asks if Zagan is behind the kidnappings, and Neffy disapproves of it because he is not interested in weak people. This has made Chastel realize her fight with him. He was holding back. She also notes Zagan's sad looks like he needed help. Neffy is awed with Chastel since there is someone else who cares about him. Neffy resolves to go back to him, while Chastel vows to clear his name. Neffy wonders why they are nice to her. When Chastel's men come in to find her, suddenly a voice claiming he is Zagan kidnaps the girls. Only Manuela manages to escape. The real Zagan is just finishing off a few knights trying to ambush him. They plead to spare Chastel, as she is the only one who believes in his innocence and even defied the church to find the true culprit. Manuela then flies in to tell Zagan the bad news. His heart sank as he pondered if he should go rescue her because, by doing so, this makes their relationship clearer and the church will target her. The reason he cut her off in the first place. But after Manuela screams about Neffy trying to be loyal to him, Zagan realizes that, as a sorcerer, he is selfish and only considers what benefits himself the most. This means Neffy is his and will give the kidnapper the justice he deserves. He will use his authority to protect her. In a hidden cave, we see the true culprit, Barbatos. The first sorcerer that Zagan killed was Barbatos' master. But this is not about revenge. Barbatos reveals he was the one who fed the church fake info and tried to frame Zagan, but they failed. He is also behind the serial kidnappings just to trap Zagan. His goal is to join the archdemon ranks, but Neffy says Zagan has become one already. Angry Barbatos is in despair that he got ahead of him, and in that case he'll forcibly take his title. He will sacrifice Neffy as his tool. Neffy, realizing Zagan never considered her as one and treated her with warmth, kindness, and respect. That is why she will go back to his side. Zagan appears as Barbatos was about to attack Neffy. Zagan has always suspected Barbatos because he always showed up at his place after an incident. He was checking the outcome of the things he set up. Zagan's beef with him now is that he hurt Neffy. He goes to free her, and although Neffy is relieved, she states he looks more hurt than her and doesn't want him to be alone again. Barbatos mounts an attack, but all his spells are easily nullified as Zagan has mastered some overriding technique. Be in further shock as Zagan has even devoured some of Barbatos' specialty magic. He then lets him know the second title the archdemons gave him, Zagan the Sorcerer Slayer. Barbatos gets a taste of his power and realizes even if he becomes an archdemon, he would still be no match for him. Barbatos gives up and promises not to come back again. Zagan gives him the biggest scare that almost kills him. Zagan lets him live. Zagan intends to live as his wish, and because he wants Neffy to live freely in this world, he will just have to seize it. That is why he won't kill him, and if he disagrees, become stronger and change his mind. After all, it would be a waste to kill someone who always brings him the best booze. A previous spell planted by Barbatos goes berserk and summons a real demon. Sensing its immense power that is way more powerful than the archdemons, Zagan realizes he cannot defeat it and might die. However, the demon suddenly addresses him as king and awaits his command. A shocked Zagan then commands it to return. Just like that, it goes home. The place crumbles, and as they escape, Chastel's men are here to pick her up. With all parties gone, Zagan is left alone with Neffy. Awkward. He sums up his courage to confess his love, but messes up that she will be with him forever till one of them dies. She accepts and wants him to put the collar back on. It was how they were connected. Chastel is before Clavwell and refuses to head another expedition to bring in Zagan. Even if she has testified that Zagan is not the culprit behind the kidnappings, Clavwell finds her words supporting sorcerers to be damning. As such, he strips her off her position. Chastel is sad the church has hit a new low since they are more interested in censuring than the archdemons. While her men try to stand up for her, Chastel notes Zagan has always stood up for his beliefs and never strayed. It's time for her to do the same. Chastel gives up her position. However, Clavwell doesn't want her to stay gloomy. He knows a good person like her cannot be punished like this, and he hopes she'll be patient as he will help resolve this. However, he can only help her politically because the most ruthless knight, Raphael Hirondelle, is on his way here and most probably to eliminate apostates like her. Zagan researches Marchoja's works, but finds nothing about demons. Nephi has learned how to cook good food from Manuela. During his lunch, an archdemon named Valefor barges in to attack. But Zagan wants to finish eating first. Because Valefor ruins his food, Zagan fights back. Valefor loses and turns out her true form. Valefor is baffled that he let her live. Nephi saved her, so that's that. The reason she is here is to kill him, and among the archdemons, she is actually the weakest. Because he neutralizes magic, she has none, and so she thought he would be easy. Valefor is of the dragon race. To her surprise, Zagan won't eat her as punishment, but makes her Nephi's assistant. Humans have a history of eating dragon scales, bones, and whatever, thinking it'll make them stronger, have higher mana, or even reach immortality. That's why she hid her identity. He lets her eat Nephi's cooking, and she finds it good. Even if Valefor threatens to kill Nephi, Zagan claims he knows about her identity and can spread it. Besides, Nephi is stronger than her. Zagan spies on the ladies talking on him. Basically, Valefor finds Zagan a strange human, while Nephi finds her master good-natured in every way. No matter how much Valefor threatens she wants to ambush and kill him, Zagan is prepared for it and dares her. She is further surprised as he requests her to help with his research. What if she steals all the info and knowledge? Don't care. Such are meant to be stolen like how he did for this castle's previous owner. She is stumped since he doesn't force her to obey him, because that will make Nephi sad. Zagan notes that before a dragon or an archdemon, Valefor is still a child, and she should behave as such. Now that he is no longer the enemy, she is now more relaxed. Nephi notes she was the same when she first came here. With Valefor dreaming about her father, this leads to the duo having embarrassing thoughts of becoming a family and having a child. Valefor writes in her diary her observations of Zagan and Nephi. She just doesn't get their strange interactions. The trio is out in town, and they're looking like a lovely family. Then they stumble into Chastel, who misinterprets the situation. Zagan and Nephi already have a child. Poor Chastel. Zagan doesn't even remember her. Her goons are here to take her back since Clavwell is looking for her. The trio goes to investigate an underground castle of Marchoja's since Valefor senses dragon sense. They enter a huge library, and Valefor finds a book about the 12 sacred swords. Zagan realizes the archdemon's crest is the same writing engraved on the sacred swords. Thus, they may come from the same source. Learning about the sacred swords will lead him to learn more about the crests. Chastel is before Raphael, who wants to execute her for her shameful failure. Chastel stands her ground over the mindless killing of sorcerers. Raphael wants Clavwell to return Chastel's sacred sword since it chooses its wielder and won't change as long as that person lives. Chastel warns him about using the sacred sword as one pleases because it makes them no different than thugs. This only angers Raphael, so he forces Clavwell to give back her sword, or does he need to cut down an unarmed knight? Clavwell does so and hopes Chastel finds a solution out of this. She can't help wondering if Raphael was manipulating the sword back into her hands. Meanwhile, Zagan and Barbados are out drinking. Barbados, mocking Zagan, has adopted a little girl, although he cannot put the picture together that Valefor is that girl despite knowing rumors that the sorcerer is a dragon. All the more reason for Zagan to keep Valefor's identity a secret. But Barbados is here to warn him that Raphael is here for his head. After slaying 499 sorcerers, Raphael is going to take Zagan's head as the Big 5-oo. Also, it is rumored that he ate a dragon, and that's how he got a scar on his face. Describing how he looks, don't look now because he is right behind them. Barbados tries to attack, but Zagan stops him since he doesn't feel any bloodlust. Raphael wants to talk to Zagan since he tangled with Chastel. Because Zagan claims she is the most formidable knight he has fought, Raphael thanks him and leaves. Zagan realizes too late that he was trying to link them together, and now he has solid justification to get rid of Chastel. Zagan warns Barbados that Chastel has friends in this town. Her death will be a sad loss. a warning not to do anything stupid or he'll know what's good for him. Zagan then orders Barbados to keep an eye on Chastel. Back home, Zagan and Neffy are about to have a very romantic moment, suddenly interrupted by Barbados. However, he is in panic as he brings a poisoned Chastel here. The moment Valefor sees Chastel, she tries to kill her, but is stopped by Zagan. No killing of his guests. Valefor claims Chastel's sword is the one who killed her father, though she is not the one who killed him. Zagan lectures her about getting revenge. It won't do any good to pile up obstacles and enemies for her revenge, because simple revenge won't offer any solace. True revenge is about making her target suffer slowly. So, Zagan is offering to teach her about torturing. Chastel is healed thanks to Neffy. Zagan tries to ask her the perpetrator, most likely Raphael, but he thinks not. That guy would rather lop off her head. Chastel recalls receiving a letter and meeting some shady guy who claims he is from the church faction and wants coexistence with sorcerers. Seeing she is being targeted by the church, if she is in trouble, yell out Orobas. That is supposed to be the name of this faction's leader. When she returns to her room and drinks her tea, that's when she gets poisoned. Chastel wants him to stay with her. Seeing he can't wake Neffy for this will do. But she will have to pay a price as tomorrow she will be working as Chastel's assistant. Valefor still hates her and does so many pranks on her, making her scream and wince so many times. It's no fun anymore. So Zagan talks to her about this, but more importantly, he asks if she wants to forever stay here. If she has things to do, she is free to do so. But always remember that they will always be waiting. Valefor still reels from her father's death. She holds back, killing Chastel in her sleep. The next day, a panicky Neffy tells Zagan that Valefor is gone. Valefor has started to love the things Neffy and Zagan do for her. But if she stays here, she'll forget about her revenge, and that's a no. That is why she has chosen to leave. Her first is Marchosia's underground castle to find info on how to kill a sacred sword wielder. But soon she realizes Raphael is here. Noting it is his sword who killed her father, she becomes enraged and attacks. Raphael also attacks, but luckily Zagan is here to stop him. He will not tolerate anyone attacking his daughter. Zagan's magic is enough to finish off Raphael. However, to Zagan's surprise, Raphael can still stand back up. Chastel realizes Zagan has gone to fight Raphael. She wants to help, seeing she was the cause of this mess. However, she is in a dilemma and feels afraid she will be branded a traitor by the church. Some comforting words by Neffy so that she can go help Zagan, even if she believes Zagan himself can settle things. After all, Neffy's job is to be here and welcome him home. Chastel wonders why she is helping her enemies so much. Aren't they friends? And here Chastel goes to Zagan's aid. Raphael's wound healed completely, proving that he indeed ate dragon flesh. Mad Valefor reveals her father's name, whom he killed, Orobas. This shocks everyone because that legendary dragon has helped humans before. Valefor continues explaining that a group of knights came to request his help, and he left with them. As he never returned, Valefor went looking for him only to find Raphael had killed him. Hence she vowed revenge on him for this betrayal. When Raphael attacks, Chastel intervenes in time. Zagan tells Raphael to give up his gig because ever since hearing Oroba's name, he lost his bloodlust. Chastel connects the dots and realizes Raphael is that shady guy who met her. However, their fighting has awakened a golem guardian. As it is not a demon, it will not listen to Zagan. As it drains everyone's mana and then fires a power blast towards Valefor, Raphael protects her and has half his body vaporized. Zagan uses his powerful magic to subdue the golem. Valefor cannot believe Raphael did not kill Orobas. In that case, Raphael asks if Orobas was so weak to be killed by a feeble human. On that day, Raphael came to Orobas to seek help from an enemy known as demons. Apparently, in this age, demons do not exist anymore except in history. Orobas died by their hands, and in order to continue this vigilance, hence Orobas had Raphael eat his corpse. The scene that Valefor saw. Zagan vouches what Raphael said is the truth since he saw one too. The very reason he has been trying to look for old texts to find a way to counter them. Valefor is now confused. If demons killed her father, who is she going to hate? Raphael tells her to take pride in him. Thanks to Orobas, he gave his life to defend the world she lives in. But if killing him will restore his pride, he will gladly die by her hands. Raphael started this reconciliation faction to end the silly fight and persecution between the church and sorcerers, because if they don't unite, they'll be done for when the demons return. In fact, this reconciliation idea was pitched by Orobas. The golem activates again, but Raphael warns this one is imbued with demons' powers. They need to be careful. Zagan and Chastel cooperate to take it down. Raphael is at the end of his road, so the reason he is passing on the torch to Chastel. As for the sorcerers Raphael killed, it seems he never intended to kill them. All he wanted was to talk, but somehow they always attacked. No choice, he had to defend himself. Raphael continues to heap praise on Orobas, and Valefor is further confused on whether to kill him. But she lets him go. Zagan is unsure if Valefor did the right thing, and her vengeance may worsen over time. Either way, he has decided to stand by her side. Everyone returns home to Nephi. We see the perpetrator to be Clavwell. He is in despair. Chastel has not died yet. He is the one who poisoned her tea. Just then, Raphael comes in to finish him off. Chastel talks to Zagan, and is sad the person she trusted was the real bad guy. But this has made her decide to return to the church to continue her fight. A small reconciliation with Valefor, but the biggest shock is that Raphael is still alive. His death is just symbolic so that others won't come after him. He is here because he will be serving Zagan as his butler. This is Valefor's idea. He is also given a prosthetic hand because he can't have one armed servant around. Zagan notes that it's easy to relate to Raphael as Chastel leaves with Barbados following at the urge of Zagan. Zagan and Nephi then share an awkward moment as Raphael tries to protect Four from the lovey-dovey.